Today I'm transferring this laser copy of a photo to a background I made earlier, and then I work it out to a unique piece of art. Stay tuned. Hello print fans! So my neighbor gave me this photo. I think he made it in the United States. It's a waterfall, and I want to transfer it on a background I made earlier. And after I painted it, it looked like this, and then I worked it out to have this unique piece, which I'm really fond of. So I'm only printing one print and working out one print today. This is rather a short video, and I'm showing you how I did this. Remember, you need a laser copy of the photo for this. If you don't have a laser copy printer, you can go to the copy store. They usually work as transfer photos. So I'm cutting out the landscape because I want to have a special look for the sky. So I'm only printing the mountains and the waterfall. I'm starting with a test how the distress ink, the color is called black soot, how the distress ink would transfer that photo. I made quite a few videos about that. If you're interested in that technique, here is the playlist link to my recent distress ink videos. But this is only a test, and I will make the real transfer later with acrylic paint. The reason why I'm testing this again today is I'm using an acrylic medium to pick up the distress ink, just to see if this makes a difference. So I'm rolling out the medium. It is a transparent matte medium, and I'm kind of careful with it because I don't want to push the paint, the distress ink around too much. So placing the landscape onto the paint on the Gelli plate and rubbing it a bit, but not too hard. And now I'm putting on a tissue that has this pattern, and this is what I want for the sky. And oops, I took that pattern off again. I don't know why. Maybe because I thought this is just a test, but it'll come later. So to take off the print, I used the same matte medium again, rolling it out carefully as not to smear the photo print. In this case, I really have to apologize for the messy surroundings here. Sorry for that. Also, my Gelli plate is a little older and a lot of paint sticks to it, but it doesn't affect the prints in any way. As you can see here, it's a nice print and maybe a little too light. So I'm taking a darker one for the real print. This is a print I made some other time, and I thought I'd use it later as a nice background. And because of the white in it, I thought it would be perfect for the waterfall I have in that photo. I'm not sure if this will work good. And for this, I'm using the Liquitex Basic Black, which is always the best, really, for laser transfers. Buy the stuff, it's really worth it. I put it on way too thick, so I'm taking off some with the Brayer here. And placing the photo again, and this time I'm doing the pattern for the sky. As opposed to the distress ink, you can see the effect it has on the gel plate right away. So I'm picking it up to place it with the waterfall, hopefully more where the white is. I'm hesitating too long, so I'm afraid that the acrylic has dried on me already. I'm not printing it now. I'm picking it up with the matte medium as well. That's good for a comparison as well. The matte medium has the disadvantage that it's not as easy to go over with the colored pencils. But I'm doing that anyway, and it will work for this one. So registering this as well as I can again, turning it around and rubbing from the back side. And slowly taking it off. I had let it sit for a few minutes before. And I think it's a very, very nice and exciting print, apart from the fact that the background paper was torn already. Anyway, it's a nice print. And I'll work it out now. I'm putting the first print next to it, just to have some hints where the rocks and where the water is. And I'm working with the fine liner now and just making a darker outline so that the water with its spray is visible better. The first fine liner I used was a brush, had a brush tip that was a little too broad, and now I'm using the fine liner size 01. And I'm giving every water spray bubble a shadow of its own. Yes, they do have shadows too. Now it's time to work on the rocks. I just want to have a little more contrast and also some highlights on the rocks so that you can tell them better from the waterfall. Using my trusty Caran white pencil for the highlights, I always work with this one as I think it has the most pigments. Yeah, even the white water gets more highlights. I also want to bring out that texture in the sky that the tissue made a little more. So I'm putting some depth in it with a black pencil. What I like about this is I'm always saying art is very often is interesting because it has these contrasts. And this is a contrast between the rather realistic image of the waterfall and the landscape and the very abstract, very unnatural texture in the sky. I do that very often, and I think it makes it more interesting. I want the water spray to stick out more, to stand out more. So I'm using my fabric marker in white. I use this one very often because the white is a little more subtle than with a gel pen, and you can smear it a little bit if you're quick, like I'm doing here. I want to bring some movement into the waterfall because I thought it's too static. And I use the white pencil again because I want to make a little more of those rocks there. And after I've done this and made even some more shadows, I think it's quite amazing how real they look. So when this is finished, I really like the left side now. And I want to do the same thing to the right side, but not everywhere, as I want the focus of attention in the waterfall. First I thought I'd enhance the tissue texture a little more, but then I thought I just want to make the whole sky a little lighter. I still want it to be a night sky, but yeah, I just want it to be a little lighter, so a little less contrast there. I hope that makes sense. So this is pretty much all I want to do with it. I don't want to overdo it. And this is the result. I hope you like it. I hope it was inspirational for you and you had some fun. Thank you, Bernd, for that photo. And I'll see you next week, hopefully. Till then, bye.